Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. So we got the information for patch 2.2 around all of the champion changes around the Forge. I've already done a separate video about the legendary champions that are going to change. This is going to be a video on the epics. Epics that are changing, and the kind of preamble from Plarium is, we're doing this with balance in mind. We want to make sure that the PvP is fun for both classic and tag team. We want to make sure there's a fair playing field between different teams and champions so that there's more balance. So what I've done is I've talked through the legendary champs. Let's go on to talk about the epics. And there's some big changes coming in the epics. Let's start with the most contentious one, I guess. I actually dropped this one again in the legendaries by mistake, but there you go. Madame Cerise, top of the order, top of the bill. The one that most people are concerned about. She is still awesome. Not really changed. The meta from her point of view for the arena certainly has not changed one bit. Not even a smidge. Not even a tiny smidge. Yeah, no change. The only thing they've actually done, which is a shame, is they're going to change her her ability on her A3 to not land this debuff for 3 turns. It's going to be 2 turns, which means that she just becomes less capable in something like Clan Boss, where she's actually not bad right now. So it's a shame. I feel like they could have done something different here. She's still better than nearly all legendaries in the arena. She's still probably the best champion in the game for the arena, maybe except Sifi. So maybe with the Sifi change, she is the best now. I don't know. But yeah, so she is going to be super strong still. No real change. Not much more I can say there. Let's move on. So let's move on to the first of our barbarian girls. Let's see if I can pick her out first time. They all feel the same to me. No, I didn't. Second time, yeah, Alika. So Alika on her disorient skill, which is her A3. So she's got an AoE at the minute. 35% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 1 turn. This is going to change to 75% chance of increasing cooldowns and a 4-turn cooldown instead of 6. She's still going to need to read all the books in the world. So booked up now, that becomes 95% chance. So it's basically 100 if you get the right masteries to increase the cooldown of all enemy skills by 1. It's a bit like Basher. It's a bit like Warlord. It throws the whole team out. She's got a good base speed as well. It's probably enough to make her viable in the arena, guys, as your second champion to lock out all of the enemy. I like it, actually. It's a good change. Good change. It's a shame she needs 1 million books. But I think she becomes pretty relevant after that. So that's cool. It's actually a good change. Good effort. So next one then is going to be Bannerlord, which is Azure. Wrong one, sorry. Azure. So Azure, currently Void, Epic, not really used at all in the game. So let's check out what they've done. His lunge skill, attack 2 times is the same. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a stun. So at the moment it just straight out places a stun. Oh, if the target's got increased speed, okay. Each hit, 30% chance of placing a stun. This increases to 100% chance if there's an increased speed. So if he goes straight out, he's got a chance to stun with a pretty reasonable amount of a chance. It's an okay change. For an A1, that's an okay change. Coup de grace. Places an extra hit, that's the same. Extra hit's always a crit, that's the same. Steals 50% of the target's turn meter if they're not under a stun. That's quite cool. So imagine for someone like the Spider, if you're looking for a defensive champion to help you, he can steal 50% of the target's turn meter. That's okay. Trying to think where else that'd be useful. I guess something like Faction Wars, actually, to beat the bosses. That's pretty cool. It's always a crit as well. Ally Protection and Shield. It's maybe just viable now. 4-turn cooldown on the Ally Protection, which is always going to help you for Faction Wars. He's mainly going to be a Faction War stroke protector. At least they've changed that silly stipulation here on the A1 because he can't even influence that anyway. So yeah, reasonable change, I'd say. I don't think he's going to get tons of love, but actually not a bad change. Okay, let's look for next one. Bushy. So Bushy is going to have one skill changed, which is his Deadly Edge. Attacks one enemy, always a crit. And we're going to have places a 30% increased crit rate buff and 15% increased speed buff on this champion for 3 turns. So if you lead with that, it's always a crit anyway. He then gives himself a crit rate buff and speed buff for 3 turns. I don't think it's enough to change him into like a meta champ. It gives him a bit more utility, I guess, but for me, it's probably not enough to really get him into the meta in any kind of real way. So guys, next one up. This is one of the most exciting changes I think I've seen for epics. So it's somebody who is currently like trash tier, absolutely trash tier, Hexia. So she's going to have her A1 changed from 35% chance to 40 on her decreased defense, and every debuff that's on her, she gets an extra 10% at the moment chance to place it. It's going to go to 20%. So if she gets 3 debuffs on her, she's going to be at 100% chance to place decreased defense. That's cool. Her A2 is going to change. So the rest of it is the same. Damage will increase by 7.5% for each debuff on this champion. Stacks up to 30%. Okay? So the more debuff she gets on her, the harder she hits. She gets an extra turn and increased attack if she kills people. So that's pretty cool as well. And then last one here, attacks one enemy, heals his champion, blah, blah, blah. The heal increases by 10% for each dead enemy, is what it says right now. It's going to change to the heal increases by 10% for each debuff on this champion. Whew, that's some big changes, guys. So, comment below, who will she pair well with? Who will she pair well with, guys? Gerptuck with Hexia is going to be bonkers. Like, if she's got some decent multipliers here, Gerptuck and Hexia could be mental. 100% chance to place decreased defense. He gives her 22.5% damage buff. She gives herself a 22.5% damage buff. And she's healing all the time as well for those debuffs being on her. So she's got that self-heal coming in. Damn, that feels like that could be a really cool combo, guys. I'm quite excited to see what she does, how that works. But yeah, very, very cool changes. I really like it. One of the most exciting ones out of all the changes, I'd say. So let's move on then. Pitiless One. Pitiless One, split arrow, I think is this one here. They just slightly increase the damage here, so not much going on there. Projectile burst, again, slightly increase the damage. That's all they're saying, slightly increased. Don't know what that means, whether it's viable or not. Never actually used him to myself anyway, so comment below. Does he need a slight damage increase, or does that do nothing? Let me know. Okay, so next one on the list is Bonekeeper. Bonekeeper, I always click the wrong one first. Got her. Okay, so attacks one enemy. This attack, so precision strike. At the moment we gain 35% extra crit damage. It's going to be 50. And Killing Haze, place an extra hit if it's a crit. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% if this attack kills an enemy. It's okay. It's an okay change. For the arena, it's more relevant. For Faction Wars, it's kind of okay. I don't think she's going to get too much extra love. I think that's okay. I don't think she's going to get a ton of extra love from that. So let's go on then to Bushy's best pal, Missionary. So Missionary has got a change here that this, yes, is going to scale from HP. This is going to scale from HP. This is going to scale from HP. All of them. He's an HP champ. Everything that scales from HP is going to benefit him a ton. So that's cool. In the thick then is going to change up a bit. So 100% chance of placing a provoke. That's the same. And has a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns if this current champion's HP is higher than the target's. Okay, cool. Cool. So instead of just a provoke, he's going to put decreased attack out there as well. It's a single target thing. I guess what What's it on a 4-turn cooldown? It's going to go on for 2 turns. I was wondering if he might be like a clan boss potential, but obviously he won't be. No, he won't be. No, so I guess it's... I still don't know where you're going to use him unless he starts hitting pretty hard. So let's see what Humble's change is. Decreases the target's turn meter by 50%. That's big. And places heal reduction. So this is quite big actually for Fire Knight. You got heal reduction anyway. You got decreased turn meter, and then also a speed debuff. So all of that is great for Fire Knights. It's also turn meter reduction, decreased speed, and decreased attack is all good for Spider as well. 100% chance of placing decreased attack if this champion's current HP is higher than the target's. So he's never going to place decreased attack on a boss or anyone big. It will only be on individual targets. So that part of his change is pretty bad actually. But I like the decreased turn meter into his A3. Does mean that he's going to be better. And also I like the fact that everything's going to scale from HP. That's cool. Let's check out my favourite wet noodle, Jotun. What's going on? What's going on, Jotun? Damage is all changing to HP. Yes. Make him a beefcake. Make him hit hard. I hope he hits hard now, guys. I hope he hits hard. What else are they doing here? All they're doing other than that is this is tax one enemy. Yes, yes, yes. Damage increases by 50% if the target's under an HP burn. And he can put HP burns out himself. This is going to be on a 5-turn cooldown, not a 6. Could be cool, guys. Could be cool. He needs a lot. Let's hope that he does some serious damage when they scale it off HP. We shall see. We shall see. Okay then, on to Tashada. Tashada, where are you? Tashada. Yeah, so pretty cool hairstyle. It's almost like which personality am I showing you? Anyway, right, what's going on with her? Maximum Carnage, which is her A2. Attacks 3 times at random is the same. Each hit 50%, that's the same. The chance of placing the weakened debuff increases to 100% on crits. That's interesting. So I guess it means you wouldn't need to book her out. Don't know. Or maybe these book chances will disappear. But that's cool. At least he's got a definite chance to place weaken. And then this ability here becomes a 3-turn cooldown. If they're not changing her damage multipliers, she's no better. She is really weak. Really weak. I tried to use her. I built her out really well. She takes a hit and all that type of stuff, but she doesn't do enough damage. So I think she's probably still not going to be good enough. Maeve. So we've got Stupefy. 60% chance. So it's gone up from 40 to 60% chance of placing a sleep for 1 turn. It's an okay change. Nothing too incredible there. And then we've got Slobber Knocker. What a skill name that is. This one places a stun debuff for 1 turn. Straight out. Doesn't need a sleep. This part still stays here, so it'll go on for 2 turns if they're under sleep. If they're not, straight out will stun someone for a turn. It's an okay change. I still don't think she'll get too much love. So let's have a look then at, not you. Sawai Firstborn. It's an epic, Void epic. Let's hope they've got some good changes here. So we've got an attack 1 enemy. And this has been changed to, let me make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah. 50% chance of placing decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Perfect. That's cool. Places the increased attack. Yeah, so she becomes more clan boss ready by that change. That's good. Utter Rampage. The hit hits for 60% of the damage inflicted from the first hit. So attacks all enemies with a second hit if this is a crit, and it'll be 80% of the damage from the first hit. But it'll be a normal hit. It's okay. It's okay. It's not insane. And then the last one then, Deadly Reaction, will be 75% chance books up to 100%. So she'll actually have decreased defense and weaken both in her kit, which for bosses, for clan boss, makes her way more viable. So that's actually a pretty good change. I like that. Okay, moving on then. Moving on. Taurus. So Taurus has actually now got a place in the game since people have found a way to do this kind of poison thing. Let's see what they do to him. Attacks 1 enemy. They changed it to has a 75%. Tendon slash has a 75%, so that books up to 100% chance of placing weaken. Okay, that's cool. And then on this skill here, he's going to be placing 4 poisons instead of 3 on all enemies. Straight out massive buff. Big buff. I mean, for what he's used for at the moment, which is kind of dragon speed runs and stuff like that with a Xavier, all that's done is buffed him. He might now have some viability in Clan Boss. So he's on a 4-turn cooldown. He puts out 4 big poisons for 2 turns. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. He's now got a definite weaken going on as well. You know, pair him with a Taurus or something like that. So you got your decreased attack and defense. Yeah, it could be cool. I think that's quite a good change. Quite a good change for him. Next one then is Snorting Thug. Same faction. So he has got attacked 1 enemy 2 times. Steals 2 random buffs from the target. Sorry, wrong steal. Steals 2 random buffs from the target on his A2. Still ignores defense if they've got no active buffs. So he's either going to steal the buffs or he's going to ignore their defense. That's quite cool. The passive as well is changing up a bit. So 30% chance of stealing, not removing, stealing 1 random buff from the attacker when hit. Occurs once per hit. It's quite an interesting change as well. I like it. I like it actually. So next one then, I was really keen to see what they did with Rowan, because Rowan right now is a waste of space. So I was hoping they would completely change her skill up, but I don't think they are. I was really hoping for a poison sensitivity to come into a kit, but she's got attack 1 enemy. This now moves from 50 to 60% chance of placing heal reduction. Yeah. Don't like it. Don't like the change. It should just be 100%. She's a void epic. Just make that 100%. Next one then, 3 times at random is the same. Each hit has got a 40% chance of placing a stun. 40% chance. And then Blade Surge has now, it's had its cooldown reduced to 4. That's good. The skill upgrade improves chances of placing poison to 75%. So she'll actually get to 100% chance, I think, of making this 4 poisons. The reading on it's a bit weird, but I think it's going to be 100% chance of placing your poison for 4 hits now. So that's a good change. On a 4-turn cooldown, it's a good change. I still think she's behind the meta by some way. I don't think she'll be used, but it's a reasonable change. All right, then, on to Hope. She needs love. She's useless. She's absolutely useless right now. So let's see what they're doing to her. A1, they're moving this 15% to 30% chance to place block buffs. Hearten is a good skill, actually. So increases the duration of all buffs on all allies for a turn and places a shield equal to 15% right now. It's going to go up to 25% of this champion's HP. It's actually quite a good change. 4-turn cooldown, it's not bad. She is way more viable now for a spider support champ, that type of thing. And then a Holy Storm, they're bringing down from 6-turn cooldown to 4. That is good. That's a good change, guys. Hope is coming into the meta. We hoped she would be good. She's actually going to be good. I like that. Good changes there. Good changes. Right. Her sister in crime, Canoness, terrible champion. Look at this base speed. They're not changing this base speed. Who the hell wants a base speed of 89? Shocking. Right, let's see what they're doing. Lead the charge. They are changing this to 50% chance of placing increased attack on a random ally. It's not enough. Blinding assault. This is interesting. So they're changing the decreased accuracy to a leech debuff. Three-turn cooldown when booked. So she could become a leech champion. She's got ally protection on a target. Is it enough? I don't know if it's enough because her base speed is horrendous. I don't know that that's enough. It's a change for sure. She's not going to be one of my kind of favourites on the list. So that's it for the epics, guys. We went through a ton there. There is some pretty good changes coming through. Some of them are still probably a bit lackluster, I think. But yeah, let me know in your comments below. What do you think? Did you get the ones that you wanted? I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.